If you could have any Pokemon in real life, what would you choose? Better yet, let's say you could have a full team of 6 Pokemon, right now. A lot of you are probably thinking of picking the strongest options, maybe your favorites, or other choices. Regardless, with over 1,000 Pokemon as of Scarlet and Violet, you've got a big decision on your hands. There's a lot you could choose and be happy with, but there's also a lot that can go wrong. Don't forget, Pokemon are essentially wild animals. You can't just assume that your Hydreigon will listen to you and not go on a rampage and destroy the city, or worse, you. So I'm here today to not only prevent you from picking the wrong choices, but to give you my opinion on what the best Pokemon in real life would be. Before we get started, be sure to drop a like down below and let me know in the comments what your team of 6 would be and why. Maybe in the future I could do a part 2 with your suggestions. But for now, let's jump into my picks for the best Pokemon in real life. So like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of Pokemon that can end up being a bad choice for us. We need to lay out some ground rules for what we're realistically looking at. Off the bat, I'm going to avoid legendaries as a whole. Too many of them are way too strong, unpredictable, or just flat out aggressive, so for now, we're avoiding them all. Speaking of the flat out aggressive Pokemon, I'll be keeping an eye on Pokédex entries to avoid picking Pokemon that could potentially destroy us. In addition to Pokemon that can blatantly cause us harm, we should also avoid Pokemon that are 1. Actively on fire, pretty self-explanatory. 2. Pokemon that can electrocute us. Some of the weaker ones are fine, but anything that's hitting over 1,000,000 volts should probably be avoided, especially considering that it only takes about 10,000, usually less, to unalive someone. And 3. Toxic Pokemon. Many poison Pokemon in particular make the space they're in toxic just by breathing, so we'll be avoiding these as well. That's a good place to start in terms of what to avoid, but to really know what's best, we need to think about what the actual purpose of having Pokemon in real life would be. After all, I never said the world would be getting Pokemon, just you. So outside of battling amongst your team of 6, being a trainer isn't really an option. So what can you do with your Pokemon outside of being companions then? Well, I organized my answer into 6 different categories, or roles, that our Pokemon can fulfill. So let's start off with what's arguably the most important one. Money! Let's be honest, if you have Pokemon in real life and you aren't benefiting off of them financially, you're doing it wrong. Now in this hypothetical, you could easily be famous and live life as the person with Pokemon, but imagining a normal life otherwise, how do you gain money from your Pokemon? At first I thought Meowth or Persian might be good, given their association with coins. They both learn Payday, and Meowth has multiple dex entries talking about it picking up coins and other shiny things. Not bad, but it didn't take long for these two to be cast aside for our true first pick of our team, Generation 9's golden boy, Gholdengo. My dude is literally made of money. When he attacks, he drops loose coins. When he defends, he drops loose coins. His signature move? Make It Rain, where he scatters loose coins. It's clear immediately that Gholdengo is our team's breadwinner. But what really earns it the spot is that it's known for being a sociable Pokemon, and it's been stated that it quickly makes friends with anybody. I mean, let's be honest, we'd all make a lot of friends too if we were literally made of money. Otherwise, with a height of 3'11 and a weight of 66.1 pounds, Gholdengo sits in a nice spot size-wise, being manageable to hang out outside of its Pokeball. Being made of pure steel, he'll also never get poisoned. I don't know how that would happen, but it's a plus. So yeah, it's a gold medal for Gholdengo. Now that we've covered the financial category, the next big role we need to fill is definitely transportation. To start, let's rule out using the move Teleport. If we follow game logic, only going to the last main location we've been is pretty limiting. Otherwise, when it comes to getting around, riding Pokemon like Arcanine, Gogoat, or Cyclizar would be useful and a ton of fun. However, our transportation slot should definitely be occupied by a Pokemon that can fly. Something that's really important to consider here is size. While a Pokemon like Pidgey can learn Fly in-game, I'm calling bullshit on that happening in real life. Whether you're riding on it or hanging onto it, there's no way. So with the constraint of size, learning the move Fly, and not being aggressive, we're immediately brought down to 2 choices. I'll start with my second pick, being Corviknight. Pretty obvious why it's here. It's already used as a taxi service in Galar. At 7'3", this armored bird can easily be ridden by almost everyone. Corviknight are also known for being quite smart as well, which is another point in its column. While this is a fine choice, my number 1 pick has to go to an OG, Dragonite. It's everything you could want out of a Pokemon designed for transportation. It also stands at Corviknight's height of 7'3", but is also about 3 times its weight. Personally, I'd rather be riding on a Pokemon that's a lot sturdier, or at the very least weighs more than I do. Plus, Dragonite is a far more impressive flyer than Corviknight. For one, it's said to be capable of flying around the globe in about 16 hours, which, doing some rudimentary math, is roughly twice the speed of sound. Now obviously we don't need to go that fast, but it just shows how capable Dragonite is. In addition to this, it's known for flying over raging seas with no trouble, even rescuing people that are drowning. Not only does this show how skilled it is, but it's quite the relief knowing it could save you if something bad were to happen. Dragonite could probably catch you in midair, especially knowing the move Extreme Speed. And the last big thing for Dragonite, its intelligence is said to match that of humans. And with how friendly it's been shown to be over the course of the franchise, Pokemon has definitely pushed the narrative that Dragonite is a great partner Pokemon. So no worries about this gentle giant ending your life. Plus, just look at him, he's adorable. And being both adorable and impressive earns Dragonite our second slot on the team. With a third of the team locked in, the next role I wanted to focus on was a Pokemon that was really smart. Admittedly, I only thought about this after thinking of Alakazam. Known as a ludicrously smart Pokemon with an incomprehensible IQ of 5,000, it seemed like the big brain pick to help me with literally anything in life. However, Alakazam has a big downside. Its Pokemon Sun Dex entry states that its overflowing psychokinetic powers actually cause headaches to anyone nearby. And the last thing you want from a Pokemon that's supposed to be making your life easier is constant migraines. Thus, I tried widening my search to other psychic Pokemon or any Pokemon I even considered smart, until I realized that my needs had actually changed. It's 2023, I don't need something smart, I need something good with tech. And then I immediately knew our third pick for the team, Rotom. You probably already see where this is going, but let's lay it out. Rotom is famous for inhabiting several different appliances that change its type. These include a washing machine, a fan, a refrigerator, an oven, and a lawnmower. While a couple of these could be useful IRL, the real benefit of Rotom comes in its other uses. Rotom has also inhabited phones in both the Galar and Paldea regions, drones in the anime, and even bicycles. But it's the first thing I want to focus on most. With Rotom being known to inhabit electronics with the intent of helping others, having a Rotom run your phone is like having Siri on steroids. And with these special Rotom forms being capable of learning human language, you might forget Rotom is actually a Pokemon and not just your Tony Stark level personal AI. Overall, Rotom is just so beneficial as a Pokemon in real life. There are only a couple of things to watch out for. For one, Rotoms tend to cause mischief and play pranks. Nothing too harmful, but don't be surprised if it shoots your smoothie out of the blender in the morning. The other thing is just to be mindful of what appliances Rotom has available. We don't need, Rotom chainsaw or anything. With that said, Rotom is a fantastic third choice for our team. At the halfway point, we've covered money, transportation, and basically any tech need ever. Now it's time to start focusing on you specifically, which is why my fourth category is health. After all, what's the point of having all these Pokemon if you die before you can use them? And to satisfy this need, we don't need to look any further than the anime, as Nurse Joy is way ahead of us. Chansey and Blissey are perfect for this role. Not only do they have the resume for the job, but from a game perspective, they're some of the only Pokemon that can have the ability Healer. Between the two, I give the edge and the number 4 slot to Blissey. It has Dex entry after Dex entry talking about its very compassionate nature, how it nurses sick Pokemon back to health, and most notably, it offers an egg to those it can tell are sad. And it's these eggs that really earn Blissey the top spot on the team. Blissey's eggs are said to literally be filled with happiness. Taking one bite can make someone smile without fail and become caring and pleasant to everyone. So not only can Blissey stop war with its eggs, but if you're ever having a bad day, bring out Blissey, it'll offer you an egg and you'll see an immediate change. Plus, Blissey's eggs are said to fetch high prices on the market. And hey, with my first choice being centered on money, I think you can understand why this only helped Blissey's case for the 4th slot on the team. Our 5th spot was one I thought about for quite a while. I felt like the basics were already covered, so I started thinking about some other utility that Pokemon could have in real life. Something centered on beauty? No, not quite. Something small perhaps. I mean, most of our Pokemon are on the bigger side, and having a Pokemon able to ride on your shoulder a la Pikachu would be a great addition. As I kept looking through the Pokedex, one Pokemon jumped out to me, and to be honest, I was surprised I didn't realize it sooner. Our number 5 team slot is going to the Transform Pokemon, Ditto. Off the bat, there's a lot of jokes I could make that I'm sure plenty of you are thinking of, so I'll give you a second to get that out of your system. Good? Cool. So Ditto's placement on the team is fairly self-explanatory. Having the ability to transform into your other Pokémon, as well as inanimate objects and even people, can come in handy in plenty of places in life. And what's cool is that it's kind of up to your creativity. You could have Ditto help you in super minimal ways, like giving you an extra body in the car to go into the carpool lane, to the extreme of literally having it go to work for you. I mean, depending on your job, of course. While plenty of Ditto have been shown to have imperfect transformations, with their faces remaining unchanged, some Ditto have shown themselves to be ridiculously capable in terms of this skill. Fun fact, there's an entire episode in Pokémon Journeys focused on a Ditto that works as an actor, transforming into many Pokémon either off a picture or even based off of memory. That being said, I doubt most Ditto are this talented, and you might end up getting one that looks at a picture in a book and transforms into the book. Regardless, having a Ditto in real life would be very helpful. Personally, I'd have it transform into my dog so they could play together until they got tired. But honestly, you don't even need to transform Ditto all the time to feel like it's worth picking. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of a pink blob, but for one, so is Kirby. And two, it's really cute. I mean, look at that face. You can't tell me that doesn't deserve the 5th spot on our team. And now it's time. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what I possibly could have chosen for the last slot. Or hey, maybe you don't give a shit, that's fine too. Thanks for watching this far. So the last slot on the team was actually the first one I chose, even before Goldengo. I had to save it for now because, you know, narrative. So with a Pokemon to help us get rich, one for transportation, one for our tech needs, another for health, and a jack of all trades, what's the last thing we need? The answer? Your favorite. If this were a real scenario, almost all of you would immediately choose at least one of your favorite Pokemon, and I would too. All these other Pokemon are fantastic for their own reasons, but if you didn't pick one of your favorites for your team, you'd always be just a little bummed out. As for my personal pick, if I go with my favorite, slot number 6 is being given to Espeon. Pokemon Coliseum and XD fans, where you at? Not only has Espeon been my favorite for years, but it also has multiple dex entries talking about its loyalty to worthy trainers and how it protects them from harm, which is a nice plus. Oh, and apparently it can predict the weather with its fur, so, you know, that's cool. But Espeon is just my choice. I'm sure you all have your own picks. Just remember our previous no-go list before you impulsively choose Charizard or Garchomp. Be sure to let me know what you would choose for a full team of 6 in the comments. With over 1,000 choices, I'm sure some of you will find Pokemon I'm sleeping on. So maybe I can talk about them in the future. But for now, thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I've got some really great stuff in the works for y'all and it's only about a month away. So for now, as thanks for making it to the end of the video, here's a picture of my dog. Talk to y'all soon.